Hey guys, Chris here back with another vendor voice today. We're super excited who we got on with our guest today. We have Jason on with Noritz, and we're going to be bringing some heat today for you guys. Jason, how you doing, man?
Doing fantastic. Thank you.
Good, man. Good to have you on today. And I know that, one of the things we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about Noritz and water heaters, which is kind of essential to our daily lives today, which is funny. I was just talking to somebody just the other day. Actually, it was yesterday, Jason, and they had went to Greece and they had went and seen all the structures and everything, and he talked about how they built the Parthenon within like 15 years. They built this thing, and he's like, Chris, they had no technology. They didn't have any of that stuff. And what's crazy is now we live in a world where water heating and all of that and the technology is just so advanced and things that we have today. And we're excited today to kind of dig into that a little bit. So, Jason, before we get started, maybe tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about Nortz.
Absolutely. Let's see. Again, Jason Fleming. I'm the executive vice president and general manager here over at Noritz. Been here for about 20 years, so been through water heating for a good portion of my life, and yeah, we're just excited to continue to talk about the technology that we try to push day in and day out.
Well, and so we say 20 years, and I look back and I'm like, 20 years. Actually, if we're thinking about this, 20 years doesn't even get us at the turn of the Y2K when we were all Y2K. Listen, hang on, Jason. This is weird, man. It's based on the date right now, and I'm going to date this video, but that was a quarter of a century ago. A quarter of a century ago.
You're making me feel old, man.
Hey, man, because you said I've been at this for 20 years, and I thought, oh, that's almost there. Interesting, Jason. Has really much changed in the last 20 years from where you see and where you sit?
A ton. I mean, yes and no, right? I mean, tankless water heaters have been around obviously for that time frame, but we've learned so much. I mean, about the way that we vent, the efficiencies of the product, the knowledge base that we want to continue to push out to contractors. I think that it's a lot has changed, but a lot has stayed the same. So it's been a good journey for sure.
Good. And so, what do you think has been really driving innovation? And I can't speak for I know you can't speak for any other brands, but what's
Yeah,
been really driving innovation at Noritz? Has it been more of regulations? Has it been more of just trying to find new cutting edge? A little bit of both. Tell me a little bit
I
about
think
that.
I think it's a little bit of both actually. The regulations push a lot of the design that we have to do as far as pushing to a certain PPM requirement or a certain efficiency requirement. But I think something that I'm super proud of is that the contractor base has really pushed a lot of our innovation and the challenges that are out there in the industry as far as when they're doing an installation, what makes putting a tankless water heater in a little bit more challenging, or what had made it a little bit more challenging. We've addressed a lot of those issues. So I think that's something that I'm really proud of as far as our innovation goes.
So good, good. So people that are buying and installing the product, providing feedback back to the manufacturer saying, hey, if you guys did this, this, and this, man, it sure would make my life easier. So you guys heard it
100%.
there. Hearing from Jason of Noritz is not just focus on the end user consumer, but the process of actually getting the product installed and into the home and into the business. And that voice really matters. So I'm really excited. So let's talk a little bit about the product itself. I want to just let's nerd out a little bit. Let's roll up our
Sure.
sleeves. And what would you say when it comes to selling the product to homeowners? And a lot of times people get really hung up on brands and creating competitive advantages. And now we live in a world where people private label and they do all these things. But what
Yep.
do you believe, Jason, are I'm going to call it the key things that differentiate you from everybody else?
Let's start with the big one. Our warranty on our product is far and away the best in the industry, 25 years. So we have an
What?
obvious.
Timeout. 25 years on a water heater. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Really? What
Yep,
all does that
25
cover?
years.
Is that
Covers the heating, the
everything?
most important parts, right? The heat exchanger. And that's really your basis of your engine. So when you talk about your car warranty, what are they talking about when they talk about whatever 100,000 mile warranty? It's your engine. Our
Yeah.
engine is our heat exchanger. So we feel extremely confident in our heat exchanger quality, and therefore we want to make sure that people know most industry standards. I mean, you're talking about a traditional tank water heater warranty, 6 years to 10 years max. We're talking 25 years. So
Mm.
just first and foremost, our warranty is huge. Our efficiency for a tankless water heater, it gets no better. We're at 98% efficient, which
Wow.
qualifies for all of the highest rebates that are out there. And when people are talking about trying to get more efficient, the difference between 98% and 100% is so minuscule that it's kind of crazy to me. So the efficiency level is extremely, extremely high. And I think the last differentiating factor is just what we talked about a little bit earlier is just the ease of installation. We've come out with products that have top mount water connections, which nobody else really has. And when you're thinking about replacing a tank water heater, those connections are on the top. Well, putting a tankless water heater in now is much easier because you're just taking where those top mount connections are, putting them on the top of the water heater in lieu of having to plumb all the way down and around to the bottom of a tankless water heater. So installation is much easier. And then we have tons of venting advantages that we've come out with, which I think are key because, again, we're really talking about the majority of the market is a tank market, right?
Mm.
And we want to make it easy to take that tank out and put a tankless water heater in. And I think that's what we've done a really good job of doing.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. It's funny. When you see tankless water heaters, you're 100% right for the majority of what you see for plumbing. Even if the water is coming in from beneath, right? They still plumb up to the top, so you don't see a lot of
Sure,
exposed pipes. That is one thing I
sure.
have noticed a lot. With
Super
tankless water,
clean.
with a conventional water heater that comes in the top, they install tankless. You see a lot of, and let's face it, right? Not every plumber is an installation artist, and so
Sure.
sometimes those installs look a little bit like a Frankenstein when they're trying to put
Yep.
that stuff in. So I'm
Yep.
guessing this makes for a little bit ease of install there with the plumbing into the top of that.
And it makes the contractor look good, right? I mean, that's what we really want to do is we want the homeowner to feel value in their purchase and we want the contractor to look good. And if it's easy all the while, there's no problem with that, right? So, and I think something else real quick is, as the trade, we know in this world that we live in, the trade of plumbing has become smaller, and it makes it more difficult, right? We're trying to get more younger people into it. And as those younger people get into it, we want to make it easier. We want to make this product an easy product to install because we really feel like it has a ton of benefits. So
Mm. And you guys also do your product is a natural gas and a propane. Just out of curiosity, is what is the difference? Do I need to order a natural gas or a propane, or do I replace the orifice in it? Like, is there a switch in it? Tell me a little bit more about that.
yeah. So some of the cool technologies that have come out, and we talked a little bit about it, but yeah, we include an orifice if you're going to need to switch it from natural gas to propane. We've got Bluetooth technology that you can do everything from your phone, so you just have to pair the device. You can do all your dip switches that were typical to have to be done manually. Now it's all done through a Bluetooth app, so super easy. I mean, we're making it really, really easy for installations, and I don't think that that's a bad thing, right? I feel like sometimes contractors want there to be a perception that this is difficult,
Mm.
just to validate the cost of installation. But I don't believe that. I think that homeowners want contractors to be in and out as quickly as possible. They don't know how to do this, and there's a value for those who do. So
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. You mentioned something about energy tax credits and rebates. I'm just curious, Jason, just a crazy question. Does Noritz help to be able to provide? Because not all plumbing contractors are familiar with that. And so if I'm a plumbing contractor not familiar with rebates and tax credits and things of that nature, what could Noritz be able to help me do to get educated on that?
I think the easiest thing you can do is just go to noritz.com. We've got a little locator, for a lack of better terms, where you just type in your zip code, tells
Mhm.
you all the rebates that are applicable on all the heaters. So it really makes it pretty easy. You can just print that out, tells you what heaters, what rebates are available, and there's a lot. There's a lot that's available, especially in Southern California here, where natural gas is has a risk of going away. So we're really trying to get as much into the market as we can. Tons
Mm.
of really strong rebates that are available, and that's all over the country. So I think always want to make sure that people know that there's something else that they can offer to the consumer to maximize the opportunity for sales.
Yeah, well, speaking of sales, maybe let's shift gears for a minute. So we talked a little bit about product, talked about install. Let's move into the sales component and let's talk about sales lead pipelines for a moment. How do you feel like Noritz can assist a plumbing company or a contractor as relates to sales leads? Because here's the thing, we know that let's go back all the way to 2020 where there was a massive amount of leads and not enough labor. And
Yep.
now we're hearing contractors are facing that, hey, we don't have enough leads. So how does Noritz help assist with that?
So we've got kind of a cool thing, and I feel like the perception is, so here, let me just explain it first real quick and then we can talk about it. But we partnered with a company called Service Whale. Service Whale is such a cool, innovative company that has helped us to generate more leads, right? So what we do is we have our website, noritz.com. You type in your zip code for from a homeowner perspective, and it populates a list of contractors, right, in your area. Ones that have been trained pop up first. Ones that do more installs pop up on a higher level, and then we offer a higher tier for those who participate in Service Whale. And Service Whale really just provides the opportunity for a widget to be placed on their website, and also for them to be more searchable from our site. So it is a pay for service, but the leads that are generated are far and away more when they do participate in the Service Whale program. So if there's questions about it, it is a little bit more detailed. So if there is questions, people can always give us a shout and we can kind of explain more, or we can have Service Whale call them. But it's not something we make money on. We're just trying to help the contractor generate more leads, and we feel like Service Whale helps us do that. So
Yeah, and that's going to be, let's just say a homeowner is searching something about water heaters or whatnot.
mhm.
Noritz comes up, they land on Noritz's website. Hey, let us assist you with help
Sure.
to be able to get an install done. So
Yep.
that's what I referred to. It's funny that you bring this up, Jason. I refer to this often for contractors. And listen, as a contractor, marketing can be very tough. Trying to find
Yeah.
clients can be very tough at times. And what I've learned is that it's like a faucet, right? It's either wide open or it's like
Yep.
dripping, right? It's like a little bit, and sometimes you find that happy medium there in the middle. And what I've learned is that really marketing is trying to buy attention. That's all we're trying to do.
Yep.
We're just trying to buy
Oh, friend.
attention. And so what I like to see here is we're a manufacturer stepping in saying, hey, we already have a brand name that's recognizable, right? We're gonna help to build a funnel leads back to the contractor using our brand name. And so for as a contractor that's watching this, I'd say to you, while your brand is very personal to you and very important to you, remember your homeowner may not recognize your brand, but when you've got a national worldwide brand such as a Noritz, that can carry a lot of authority
Yeah.
there. And so they're hopping over to that website. So once again, I encourage anybody to explore everything you can do, to get leads. People say all the time,
Agree.
like Better Business Bureau. I don't get any leads from them. It's like, well, you still should get signed up with them because I promise you there's going to be people that are going to go there at some point to be able to look. So once again, just check all the boxes, make sure all the bases are there and covered for you. Nortz has got you covered. And you remind me again, you said the whale? You said whale?
Service. It's a company called Service Whale. They don't need to
Sir.
really necessarily know that. They just know that they can come to us. We can explain to
Okay.
them, exactly how to do it. But I think that it's important that they know what their cost per lead is, right?
Mm,
Because finding the best avenue to reduce the cost per lead is the goal, right? Because
yeah.
most companies are going to have to pay for leads. It's just a matter of how much you're paying per lead, and how
Mm.
much you're converting each of those leads. And we feel like with the program that we offer, you're not getting tire kickers, you're getting people who are really, really interested in the product, and your chance for conversion is better.
So you guys obviously are helping contractors from a knowledge based standpoint. We've got different products. We've got tax credits, rebates. Now we've got sales leads. I mean,
Yep.
what else you guys offer? I mean, is there any training or anything that's available as well?
I think that you're hitting the nail on the head, though. I mean, as far as what we think contractors make the decision when it comes to installing a tankless water heater. And we feel like if we arm the contractor with as much knowledge, as much comfort as possible, it's going to make that process that much easier. And you're right. Training is that next avenue. We offer a ton of both in-person and online training. We have a bunch of quick video content that if they have questions about specific error codes or quick fixes that they need to do, there's videos that are available that they can have out at the job site, pause it, do it, pause it, go on from there. So training.noritz.com is a huge resource for them. And we really push people to check out our training. If they want in-person training, just reach out to Noritz and we'll line up our product trainers and get them up to speed on anything and everything that they need. And also, just real quick, I mean, there's been a lot of people who have been trained on Noritz maybe 10 years ago, and there's been such, evolution of product changes over the last few years that it's important that they keep training. It's not something that's one and done. You got to keep the process going. So,
God, music to my ears. That's what that is. That's music to my ears. Jason, as my time owning and operating in a service business, one of the most important things that I recognize, and plumbers, I want you to hear me out on this. Contractors, hear me out on this. Training is not a box that you check. Training is not an event. Training is a culture. It is a culture of an organization that they train their people. And we've heard this time and time again, like, oh, I don't want to train them. And then they're better, they're smarter. And then what if they leave and go to my competition? They're going to make them better and smarter. But, the alternative method there is don't train them. And then you just got a bunch of untrained people. And that option just doesn't sound good. And here's what I like the most about this. Okay. So two things. Let me talk about this. I'll get on my soapbox when it comes to training. Number one is most organizations are more focused on how to sell the product and not really focused on what the product is, how it works, how to install it. So how does Noritz kind of balance that? Is a lot of the training focused on that technical component so I, the contractor, don't have to go get educated on it?
I'll say where we have a little bit of a deficiency is that we have focused so much on the training aspect of how the product works. I think that that's a great opportunity for us is to provide something that shows how to sell it, because as we started this whole thing, I think that there's so many advantages to our product. And if it was, so that's something I'm going to work on, and I'll share that with you as soon as that becomes available. But the technical aspect, we kill it, right? We can, talk it through, explain things. We've got videos, we've got trainings available, but how to sell, I think that's something that's really being missed out there, is because they're good at what they do. They're not necessarily great salesmen. So I think that that's something that I'll work on and hopefully be able to share with you.
Let me say this. The most amount of confidence in selling comes from a high level of confidence in technical capability. And what I mean by that is this industry, I know that there are a lot that are going to disagree with me around this, but I believe that the person that has the most technical knowledge has the competitive advantage at the closing table.
I agree.
The challenge is most of the time, people with the most amount of technical knowledge are, quote, not going to be salespeople. They're going to be your old school technicians that
Right.
know they're not a salesperson, whatnot. But I do believe you said something really awesome, Jason, and that is the younger generation. I believe the younger generation is not stuck in the concept of, I'm a plumber, I'm not a salesperson. Well, I hate to say this, but if you're in the service aspect, you're going to have some level of sales. But what enhances sales performance? I've always said this goes back to what I was talking about. Once per week, Jason, in my business, we train technical. That's all
Yeah.
we focused on. We didn't talk about how to sell it. We didn't talk about anything. No objections. Just literally, let's take the product. Let's dissect the product. Let's talk about its installation. Let's talk about what happens when it breaks. Let's talk about and see when you do that, you increase confidence of the person that's talking about the product at the closing table. Now the sales skills can kick in, right? Now I
Well,
can feel confident when I'm talking about the product itself. And so tell me a little bit about the Norts. You said those are all video based, that they are
we
all
have a ton of we have a ton of video based trainings that are available, but we also have in person. So whatever your comfort level is, I love the online training because you can be doing it at night when you get home and just be prepped for the day ahead. Or if the company wants to have us come in on a 7 o'clock before they get out on the road, that's something that we can do. So we want to tailor our trainings to what the company needs most, but it's available. So.
And I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm just curious, is there a technical support telephone number that you guys have
Yeah,
as well?
we do. If you want me to, recite it
Hey,
out, I can
hey,
do
let's throw it
that.
out. Let's throw it out there, man. Make sure
All
people
right.
say know that telephone number or even the website to be able to find the technical support.
So our line into the office is 866-766-7489. So that's our direct line into the office. We do have for those who register and install their products more frequently, we call it a VIP line, kind of gets you
Mm.
frontline service. So we definitely want everybody who's installing Noritz to register their products. Always something that typically people don't do as well as they could is a lot of people out there are installing Noritz, less people are registering them. I think it helps you guys to identify who's doing what. So I would definitely recommend people do that. But if they also want support and service from our website, noritz.com is an easy way to find stuff. We also have a really, really cool site called support.noritz.com. And the greatest part about that is that you can get all your technical information. But you can also, purchase parts. So if you're out at a job site in a random location and you need a part, most times wholesalers may not stock as many parts as they need. Hey, just go on to support.noritz.com and purchase whatever part that you need. So I feel like we've got a lot for support, but if there's something else that is needed, we'd love to hear it. We'd love to get better. So please let us know.
Awesome, cool. And you're hearing it from somebody, I'm gonna call it like a better word. This might not be PC, but you're hearing it from somebody that's an old timer, right? He's been around for 20, been around for 20 years. That's just simply unheard of these days of people getting to a company and staying for a while, which
Yep.
by the way, I'm not gonna say it, but I'm gonna say it. Nobody stays for a company for 20 years if it's a bad company. So
Yeah, that's
for
true.
those that are watching this video, I want you to remember that, having the ability to be able to have a good product and have somebody that works there that stands behind it. Jason, I know that today we are doing this through our program, Blue Collar Elite Buy, which is our buying group for the Blue Collar Success Group. So our members that maybe are dabbling with installing some Noritz, but not really fully committed, or maybe they're not even installing Noritz at all. Um, I want to make sure that they have the ability to contact you, and I want them to when members when you log into the vault, the blue collar vault, you're going to notice on the left hand side, you're going to notice a little tab that says Blue Collar Elite Buyer. You're going to click on that. Scroll down; those are in alphabetical order. You're going to find Norwich. You're going to find Jason's contact information, along with remember this. I didn't make this up. Maybe I'm stealing it. You can call it R&D from American Express, but membership does have its privileges, and I'm just
Yep.
throwing it out there. And so, as a
Yep.
member of the Blue Collar Success Group, there are special privileges that you do get with Noritz. But Jason, if I'm a contractor who's watching this and hearing this, and I want to explore more, what's the best way to get in contact with somebody to talk about becoming a Noritz dealer?
So I'm happy to have anybody and everybody call me. I'm probably not the best resource when it comes to the specifics in the field, but I'm happy to point anybody in the right direction. So if the contact information for me directly, we do have manufacturers reps out throughout the country. We have regional support from the Noritz perspective. So reach out whoever the contact information is that you have on your site there, and then we'll make sure we point everybody into the right direction. But happy to help. I mean, I've been around for a while. I've worked with contractors. I know a lot of the people in the field, and yeah, I just love the whole process, and I love to be challenged because if there's something that somebody's using other than the Noritz product, I feel like we have a great story. And I'm not just saying that because I work for Noritz. I really, really feel like we have a great proposition when it comes to installing this product. So
Yeah, and let me just double down and say nobody stays around once again for 20 years if it's a really bad product, right? So
right, right,
it's funny because I think that people attach themselves to that brand. If I work there, I'm
absolutely.
attaching myself to that brand
It's
and
my
their
identity, man. Good or
yeah,
bad, it's my
exactly. It's their
yeah.
identity and their reputations on the line, which is really cool. Jason, when I go out in public, I'm not bragging, just making a matter of fact. I'm in love with the brand that I support, and so
Absolutely.
when I go in public, I don't
You and me
change
both,
clothes.
man.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't change clothes when I go out to dinner at night. I'm very proud. I'm not trying to hide from people, and I do know that there are people that are like, I don't want to go out in public and know people that I work there.
Now I love it.
Jason saying, "Hey, I'm loud and proud. I'm
Yep.
Team Noritz on this." So, Jason, such a pleasure to have you on today. Jason, is there anything that we haven't talked about you think would be super valuable for our members and non-members to know about you or about Noritz?
I don't think so, man. We hit a lot of the high points, and I think that if anybody has any additional questions, just always reach out. I love talking it up.
Awesome. So here's what we're going to do, folks. This is one of my favorite parts. And, Jason, one of the things I love about this industry, I've been in this industry now for 30 years. And one of the things I've learned is that contractors and people in this industry are just real people. That's who they are. They're
Yep,
just real people. So Jason, it's so good to be able to put a face to you with the brand of Noritz. But a part of the vendor voice that we're doing here, we couldn't do one without the fun part that I get to do as the host of Fun Facts Finale. And Fun Facts Finale is going to come right at you straight down the pipeline. And Jason, are you ready for a little Fun Facts Finale?
oh man, I hope so.
All right, great. So here's a series of questions, man. The first question is, do different birds have different languages that they speak? Example, do you think a duck can communicate with a chicken or a dove communicate with a pigeon?
They got to have different languages, man. They talk specific to each other. I don't think they can talk to everybody. So
Okay. All right, great. If your life was a documentary, who would you choose to play your role?
the late great Paul Walker would have to be my number one choice. But
Oh, wow. Hey, you know what? That's the first I've heard that one. That would be awesome.
yeah,
Uh, if you could master any skill or hobby instantly, what would it be?
master. Well, my favorite hobby that I continue to try to master is golf. So I would love to be able to have it down 100%, but it's my favorite for sure.
You know what? This is crazy, Jason. I actually did a vendor voice with someone who was a professional golfer. They were a professional golfer that kind of retired and went to become a golf pro. And so
Yep,
we got to talk a little bit about that. And I mentioned this, and he was like, that's a really good saying. I said, it's a game of yards, but measured in inches. Right?
absolutely.
How crazy that game is. And that's what continues to make people go back. If you could swap lives with any animal for a day, which one would it be?
It's funny. I would say a bird. I'd love to fly around and see what it looks like from up above, but I'd go bird.
Okay. And then this is one that I'm going to give up to. What's the most weirdest food that you've ever tried?
Weirdest food I've ever tried. I think it's well, working for a Japanese company, we've tried a lot of weird stuff over the years, but I would say blowfish.
Bl-
There's a so I think that you have to kill it in a specific way, whereas if it's in its defensive mode, it can be very, very harmful for you. But I think blowfish is the weirdest thing I've eaten.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask a follow-up question. Would you eat it again?
No, no, I would rather not.
He
But
said I checked that box and I'm
as a
good.
salesman, you have to just say, "Yep, I'll do it." Right? I think that's an important part, but you got to try everything once. So
Okay, last question, man. Which one goes together better, peanut butter and jelly or peanut butter with chocolate?
peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter and jelly, you heard it best right there. Jason, little blowfish and some peanut butter and jelly in the house. Jason, thank you so much, my friend, for being on today for another vendor voice for us. For those that are watching, listening to this as a recording, remember contact information for Jason is located in the vault. For those that are not, you can go to Noritz.com. You can find Jason and his team to be able to reach out to them. Other than that, you guys make it a fantastic day. We look forward to seeing you guys again. Take care. Hey, thank you for watching this video. I hope that you found it very, very informative and educational to be able to help you build and grow your business or to be able to make yourself a better operator, service tech, call taker, and whatever the information that you want to become better at. Remember, I want you to do us a huge favor. Follow us on social media for more information just like this. And thank you for watching the video and subscribing. Remember, you're either winning or you're learning.